Imagine as a Muslim going through that entire relationship, like you go out with her, you take her out on dates, you really get to know her, you hold hands, whatever cute stuff these couples do these days. You do all of that stuff, and then in the end you go to her father, you go to her wali, he takes one look at you, he's like, I highly recommend it. If you haven't watched part 1 of the marriage podcast, then you should definitely go and check it out. I'll put the link in the top left corner. And yeah, let's carry on with the video.
What I'm saying is that what they do, although is not allowed by the government itself, it should not be called haram, because based on the court of law of Islam, that is the law.
So I think the point he's saying is that there shouldn't have to be a wedding, a big wedding, for it to be considered a marriage.
I understand. So you're basically questioning the culture in which we live and how it aligns with Islam.
Exactly.
I understand.
So my whole point is that there has been too many layers of culture added on top of this marriage that has made this
marriage difficult
and this big thing, and it doesn't have to be like that.
And it's not even related, these cultures are not even related with Islam.
Yes, exactly.
To some degree.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And the thing is that people in their 20s, that's the age where they should think about getting married, because that's their age which their body needs that connection, right? And many things that many of these things that have been added on top of this marriage has made this difficult for these people. And if we de-layer all of those, just think about what it is at its core, we can still do that in a way which is not haram.
I agree with everything that you've said.
I need to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that he's right, because in Islam there is two things that support his statements. It's that marriage is better when you're early in the ages. Once you've matured, it's as early as possible is better. Okay. And the second thing is the best marriages, according to Prophet Muhammad are the ones that are done the easiest. But in modern days, it's like you need to have a house, a car, and you need to pay like $100,000 in mahar, and there's too much that add to the difficulty of getting married.
You could just go to the mountains of Somalia and give her 3 sheep. No, actually,
just many things that make it harder, and so people will postpone it and would then go to haram things in the meanwhile until they get married.
But why specifically 20? Like
that's just something came in mind.
Oh, it was arbitrary.
I see. It doesn't really mean anything.
For me, it's as soon as, and based on Islam, as soon as the person hits the age of puberty, I don't think it's a choice at that point to even think about it. It just comes naturally. So I wanted to actually say something, coming back to you were telling me one of the reasons why I would think dating is wrong. Like after rationalizing it, why would dating be haram? And I was thinking that imagine as a Muslim going through that entire relationship, like you go out with her, you take her out on dates, you really get to know her, you hold hands, whatever cute stuff these couples do these days. You do all of that stuff, and then in the end you go to her father, you go to her wali, he takes one look at you, he's like, Tuf alik. No. Imagine that. Like really, what do you do at that point?
No, you don't do that.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying. If you're making decisions and certain choices that would lead you down that pathway, you're doing it wrong.
AKA modern day dating.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah, that's something that really demotivates me.
Imagine just going there and he just looks at her as like this.
20 years raising you, and you bring home this little piece of Yeah, so what, like...
Yeah, my logic on this was that, let's say that there were 2 families, right? And then they have like 2 different children, a boy and a girl. They're
obviously. I mean, in today's world, endless possibilities.
But fine. And let's say that the children would want to be together, and they get along. Their connection is consensual. They consent to this, and the parents are okay with it. So that situation, it fulfills all of the checklist
marriage requirements
for a marriage. So technically that is a marriage, and they can be together without doing that whole ceremony thing.
The question is, why is it not practiced in today's world? Why? That's
too much culture. And my whole point is that if everything is consensual, if parents allow this, I should stop saying parents. It's more of the guardian. The guardian,
the wali.
Yeah, if they allow this, and if the thing is consensual, and if there are witnesses, then that is technically a marriage, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. And the contract is signed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'll sign my contract.
You can't do that with your feet. So what I'm saying is that marriage not being that easy is a problem in today's world because many people would want to have a connection, but then they can't because it's too difficult because there's too much ceremony.
So they'll do it the
culture.
haram way.
They will do the haram, and then they end up going like down bad roads.
That's so true.
That's
because look at life as a modern day, you could say teenager. I think all of us are like very close to our 20s. So yeah, it's crazy for me.
I'm 25 anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. That's 4 kids already, mashallah.
Yeah, 5. What are you talking about?
5.
5 and
One for each one every year. Every year.
Nah, Masoud when he's 100.
75 kids.
So I was saying that imagine life in the modern day as a teenager, late teenager, early 20s, whatever. Like you cannot date. And neither can you get married. So you are stuck in this between two levels, the levels of haram and the levels of haram, like conventional haram dating and the level of halal. So like
you can't really do anything.
You can't do anything.
And the thing is, your body needs you to do something. There are natural needs and there are no outlets.
So I get your point exactly. Yeah. So now let's think solution. What should the solution be? In your mind, what would you think the solution to be?
If there is a good solution, I don't think it could happen in one night. It take a while because these cultural changes happened over like hundreds of years. You can't just change them in one day.
Can you imagine Islam made it so easy? Said one boy who's hit puberty, one woman who's hit puberty. They like each other.
As the guardian.
You have the means, and it's done. And even the idea of, I was always thinking the idea of getting married and immediately moving in with your with your wife and starting a family is so daunting. Like who would want to get married if that's the kind of pressure you put on someone?
Yeah, it's they have made it too big. That's my problem. And the solution, as you were saying, is to de-layer all of those added layers of culture that has made this so difficult. For example, let's say I go talk to my father, for example, and he agrees to me doing this. As you know, as we have discussed, and I go find some other person who also is in the same situation, and if I continue with a connection, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So that's where it's done. Yeah.
That's true. So I think we're pretty much done with this topic. We've said everything that needs to be said. Thank you very much for watching the Marriage Podcast in its entirety, and please share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I also want to inform you that in the next coming few days I'll be releasing many of these podcasts, mainly concerning the high school experience and everything that comes along with it. So thank you very much for watching again. I really appreciate it, and Assalamu alaikum.